Welcome back. I'm Civvie, and we're here again on the 5 Live Drive. I've got the 5 Live set up. We're doing some World of Trucks. We're taking some beans from Dijon mustard or Dijon, France, to somewhere in Poland. Poznan? I don't know. But we're going to drive. I already have the 5 Live queued up.
He's just in.
So let's get that going.
Thank you to them all
It's daytime.
for supporting him.
We're going to need to sleep soon. We're going to need some gas soon. Let's get rolling.
See, even the experience.
I
Like,
still haven't switched the truck,
we've
and this
read
truck
that
needs to be fixed.
Titanic earlier, and we've never been treated like
But
that before.
we're
We
going.
were treated like kings, you know what I mean? So it gives you a chance of getting.
I figured I'd switch us off
getting
doing,
thank you. Do you know what I mean?
Is this where the after show party is?
what were we doing?
So have you seen any of the celebrities yet?
Yeah, we were talking to like.
Great.
Good to see like Andy Murray come up and said thank you to him. Like, it's good that celebrities were actually coming up and saying to him thank you for what
cool.
you've done. Do you know what I mean? Like it just
The button
just
on
shows
my
you that
controller is
even
starting
there,
to break. I have to
they
switch
see
back
the
to my
confidence in people like
X-Bone
Limo
controller.
or
Great.
Damien and all the other unsung
But I
heroes,
figured we
because
could
they'll
have
be
some
50
time
over
without
the
Kerbal
last
Space
2 days, and
Program.
they've
We've
got
had a lot of
stories,
Kerbal.
and they're just as-
We haven't really
they're
done
just as
anything.
good
So let's
as
get
Damien
some
in their
actual
own areas,
trucking
you know what I
done.
mean? They all play a big part.
So Andy Murray went up and thanked him.
Also,
Andy
I
Murray came up
I don't
with
like
a picture
to,
on my Facebook, and he came up with his,
to
shoot
play
Damien's hand
the
and
same
that
game
picture
all the
and
time,
says,
which is
"Great
why
work,"
I'm
and all that.
bad at
Yeah,
streaming.
it's not only Andy Murray, there's a couple of other big names.
So was this in the arena after the show?
Yeah, this was in the arena.
I don't know what's going on with the 5 Live today.
So apart from
How'd you guys
David's
enjoy your
award, what were
your
the real
Star
highlights
Wars?
of the night for you?
Just being there and seeing all this celebrities and
I've not seen
I
it.
know,
There will be no
everything and putting
no
my-
Star Wars
putting the
spoilers
team
that
on
I
the
know
map,
of
putting their
on this
area
channel.
on the map,
So
that's
if you're worried, don't
that-
worry.
that a wee local football team
I don't
has
plan to see it
such an effect
until it comes out on DVD,
the surrounding areas and it can
Blu-ray.
change people's lives.
probably
And what
Blu-ray,
did it mean
which
to
it means it'll come out on DVD at the
to
same
have
time.
that awards show?
That's a
Well,
little faster.
well, it's the first ever. I think it's the first ever time anyone in Northern Ireland's won it. So it's brilliant, and it's here.
People
in
are
our-
really
on our
scared
home
about
turf.
spoilers, so I think
So
everyone's trying to watch it. I
So it
wonder
was-
if
hopefully maybe after
Disney
we'll
planned
get a
this
wee
the
bit
whole
of
time.
fun
They're like,
or something,
oh,
because
there's gonna be spoilers. Everybody's
as
gonna
you-
be
as you know, it
spoiling.
costs you a lot of money to run a
Better-
football team.
Better watch it
Something
right
like
now.
that, maybe that
Better
goes
watch
the
it
door
thrice.
to someone to come and say,
Right? Come on.
or you go, we'll back
Who
this
knows?
up if you keep this going. You know what I mean?
So finally then, so you were at the awards, you've nipped off to a pub so he could be with the other guys of the team, and now you're going back to the after show
Yeah.
party.
Yeah, the wine and dine with the celebrities.
Luckily, there
Well,
appears to be no one on the
enjoy your
road right
night.
now.
It sounds like
Yes.
you've had a really, really special time, and
I have indeed.
pass on our
Thank you very much for the
congratulations to
phone
Damien as well. That's fantastic. Thank you very much for speaking to us. That's Joseph McCall, who plays underneath Damien Lindsay, who is one
Yeah.
of BBC's Get Inspired Unsung Hero
He
Awards.
plays
David was calling
underneath.
in to speak about
Aw,
Kevin Sinfield. I think
yeah.
you've enjoyed that, haven't you, David?
Yeah, I think that what I've got to say is a bit like following the Lord Mayor's show, you know. I mean,
Yeah,
that
my
sort of situation
my
that guy's just
left
been
bumper
describing,
appears to be
you thought
breaking
that was happening in
and
the,
or broken.
in
It's
the
unfortunate.
lawless part of South America, or Colombia.
In this game,
or
it's not a problem, but
somewhere.
in games like
Equally, I think
PSO, it's a
that's happening
problem
in the
because I need
United-
that
that's
for
happening
lock on.
in the United Kingdom.
I can't believe you've been shot at training and he manages to persuade them to come back the next week. That's incredible.
That was spells. I mean, I don't just think what that might be giving. Might be giving Van Gaal some ideas about how to book up Manchester United.
Well, the reason you were phoning in first of all was because of your pride with Kevin.
There we go. Here's some cars. Second there, I
Yes,
thought
that was my
cars
first-
got turned
that
off
was my
somehow.
first Call, because I'm a rugby league follower.
Because
And rugby
the
league is a
contracts
minority
through
sport,
World of
and,
Trucks
don't
can
get much credit. This is the first time I
can
think
change
a
the
rugby
settings.
player,
So
or anybody, or any trainer or anything has been nominated for one of the top.
apparently,
And, it was just that.
McCall's coming out soon.
I've been listening to the comments on the radio, and there were one or
do
two
we want
people
gas
came on
now?
that were,
We
they
could
were
probably
quite
make it.
disparaging about the order of voting.
yeah, I don't know.
anyway. You know, one chap said that Andy Murray
Apparently,
should have
the
it, Jennifer
new
Aniston should have been second.
American Truck Simulator will be
and,
out
Mo Farah
like
should have
soon.
won it. You know, it's like saying, well, what the hell's Kevin Sinfield doing there? He's got 1-0.
Which is cool and all, but
I would like to point
unfortunately,
out that Kevin Sinfield has been a
I don't
magnificent
have any
player
money
for
to
Leeds
buy it.
Rhinos.
So we'll just have to live with European.
This year, Leeds Rhinos have crowned
We have to see where the American Truck Simulator takes us. Does it take us to Canada? Does it take us to Mexico? Or does it only take us to America? Fuck America. I don't want to just go to America. I want to go to other places. I want to go to my house. I want to drive to my house in American Truck
It was very
Simulator.
nice as well how he brought on the rest of the Leeds team. I know what Rugby League, yes, you were quite right, never had an individual nominated for Sports Personality of the Year. I think Wigan, in fact, I went to watch a Wigan football match recently and saw their trophy cabinet. They have won Team of the Year. Wigan have won for the Rugby League. But yeah, you're quite right. It's been a good night for Rugby League. Kevin Sinfield coming second in Sports Personality of the Year. Thank you very much for your call, David. We're going to keep your calls and Spotty going right throughout the evening. As I say, I've been
That's not
speaking to
helpful.
a former
I'm
winner,
yawning
David
myself.
Beckham, about
Stop
his
it,
new,
game.
TV documentary. We'll be hearing that after midnight. But I want to find out what is going on
After
with
midnight.
the
No, I guess it is almost midnight in
Eurotunnel
Britain
is
right
telling
now.
people
It's
booked
about
onto
3
overnight
o'clock.
services to postpone
I mean,
their
it's
journey.
8
Today's
a.m.
problems
on
in one of the
Wednesday.
system's 2 tunnels has caused severe disruption. The reported delay for travellers is now 8 hours. John Keefe from
That's rough.
Eurotunnel is with me. John, what's going on?
Well, good evening. It's been a bad day, and we've first of all apologise to our customers that have had to suffer through it.
That's right. You apologize, sir.
Two incidents, one at either end of the day, have caused problems. The first one really reduced capacity a little
there it
bit
goes.
and gave us some waiting times through the earlier part of the day, but it was in the late afternoon.
I wonder if that's
that
the
we had
sensor
a
breaking,
broken rail
or if there's
on
just
the
something
French
in
side
the,
of the tunnel
like in the
itself.
controller.
And that had to be repaired, and so the accumulation of the waiting time
seems you
earlier
just
in
gotta
the day and then the essential
jam on it.
repairs early this evening meant that we got to a situation where we only had one of the tunnels open. So
Which
we
means
were
I might
down
as
to
well be
50%
using the
of
Xbone
capacity.
controller.
Now that really, on a day like today, makes for a very difficult situation. We finished the repairs now, and we are into that waiting time, and we have put on extra departures overnight so that we will get people away, but unfortunately it's going to be a slow process. So we have said to people, if they don't have to travel this evening, if they don't have to travel overnight, then of course we'll respect their tickets tomorrow and we'll get them away then.
So they can go on any train tomorrow.
Yep, that's it. Turn up when you can, and we will fit you in. There are people booked. The morning is busy, so it will fit people in where we can. The afternoon is slightly calmer, but you know this is an issue that
I have an itch on
we've
my
got to
leg.
take on the chin. We're doing what we can to get people away as quickly as possible. We're trying not to make things any harder than they already are. And so if people don't travel tonight because they don't want to join the queues, then please come along tomorrow and we'll get you away as quickly as we can.
And there'll be a lot of business people who wake up in the morning, head to St Pancras to get the Eurostar over to Paris for the start of the business week. Does that affect them as well, or is it only people at Folkestone?
No, because Eurostars are not running overnight, so there will have been some delays during the evening, but overnight there won't be, and then starting again
I gotta
tomorrow
sleep.
morning.
Apparently I should have
everything
stopped.
should be
We'll
running.
stop the
There'll be
next
plenty
one.
of capacity for
Get some
Eurostars,
rest.
So those trains shouldn't have any
We need to fix our truck.
So thank you very
Trucks
much
are like
for coming on and
20%.
clarifying that situation. That's John Keefe from Eurotunnel. Coming up before midnight, we're going to be hearing from the nurses from Greenwich taking on Justin Bieber for Christmas #1. I'm not a fan
What?
of Race for Christmas #1 stories because normally they don't even make the top 40, these novelty records. This lot are in the lead at the moment. We'll be hearing from that in a few minutes, but first of all, here's the news with Charlotte Bangbala.
On digital, online, smartphone and tablet. This is BBC 5 Live.
Andy Murray has won the BBC Sports Personality of the Year for a second time. He helped Great Britain win its first Davis Cup title in almost 80 years last month. Rugby league player Kevin Sinfield took second place, and heptathlete Jessica Ennis-Hill came third. Eurotunnel's advising passengers to delay travel till tomorrow.
get out of the
because
Eurotunnel.
delays caused by a track fault. It's now been repaired, but dealing with the backlog of travellers is expected to take several hours. Eurostar trains are also affected. John Keefe from Eurotunnel says it's going to be a slow process dealing with the backlog. An investigation is underway in the West Midlands after a 15-year-old boy was stabbed to death. He died in hospital after being found
Shit.
in Civvie in the early hours of this morning.
Who stabbed a kid to death?
Spain's
Uh-oh.
governing Conservative Party has won the most seats in the country's general election, but has lost its majority. Nearly all votes have been counted. The Socialist Party is in second place. Air France officials say a fake bomb was placed on a flight to Paris, forcing an emergency landing in Kenya. The package was discovered in the toilet of the plane after it had taken off from Mauritius. It was later found to be made of cardboard. That's the news. With the sport, here's Hughes and Croft.
Box is made of cardboard.
Congratulations, he's won a second Sports Personality of the
my
Year award.
God.
The runner-up, Kevin Sinfield, as well, he paid tribute to the Rugby League family as he finished 80,000 votes behind Murray, but a huge 200,000 ahead of the third place Jessica Ennis-Hill.
The game's given me absolutely everything, and it's given me the opportunity now to go and play a different sport, which before I have to get a real job. As we saw tonight, the Rugby League family have been brilliant, and we saw Lizzie Jones out there who lost Danny. Just inspirational for everybody, and I think that just shows the quality and the type of people that are involved in Rugby League.
Well, Michael O'Neill, Northern
I like
Ireland's
how
football manager, won the Coach of the
now
Year.
that we're driving,
Gymnast Ellie
like this
Downey
is only
won
going to
the
give
Young
us like
Sports
$40,000,
Personality Great Britain Davis Cup team winning
but we
team of
actually
the year.
earn more money
You can see
than
the full list of winners on the BBC
like
Sport website.
just from our
Elsewhere,
other drivers
Watford lie 1 point off the Champions League places
than we can earn.
after a 3-0 victory over Liverpool in the Premier League. It was their 4th league win in a row, and this was a best ever performance under Quique Sanchez Flores.
We play really well. It's difficult.
Yes, I'm aware. I'm
sometimes
getting
to
tired.
think about
Thank
to
you.
improve this kind of performance of in terms of
I'm
the
looking
collective, but we are
for
very happy,
a place to
enjoying
stop,
the victory
because I need some gas as well.
To the fans, this
Oh,
amazing
parking.
result.
Well, his Liverpool counterpart Jurgen Klopp says he hopes that will be his most
only
disappointing
parking, though, by the
moment at
looks
the
of it.
club. Elsewhere, managerless Swansea City drew with West Ham at the Liberty Stadium. Despite sitting in the bottom 3, the Welsh side's caretaker boss Alan
apparently-
Curtis
or that
says
might
whoever
be
takes over has a
that they were
positive
talking
team to
about.
play with.
It's the style of play that we've been playing at the stadium now for such a long
Next
time.
one
and,
is over
whoever
here.
comes in, I think it's just a
man.
little bit of tinkering.
Oh,
we are
man.
where we
I
are.
need to
you know,
sleep.
That's the reality of
More
the situation
importantly.
that we find ourselves in.
It's more
But,
important to sleep
I think
than have
the
gas.
quality of the last 2 performances in terms of the way
So
that
we'll-
we play. Whoever comes in will be confident they can lift the club out of the bottom 3 and further up the table.
Pep Guardiola will
Sleep.
leave Bayern Munich at the end of the season and will be replaced as manager by Carlo
$17,000 from Wilma
Guardiola
F.
has been strongly linked with a move to several
Wow.
Premier League clubs.
Wow,
whereas former
Wilma
club
F.
Barcelona have become the first team to win 3 FIFA Club World Cup titles.
Soon we'll be able to buy a new
Leicester
place.
Tigers made it 4 wins from 4 in Rugby Union's European Champions Cup. Ulster won a tight game against Toulouse, whilst Exeter was soundly beaten at Clermont-Auvergne. Newcastle were winners over Connaught in the Challenge Cup. Fast bowler Steve Finn impressed with 4 wickets on the first day of England's tour match against
Nap
South
time.
Africa A in Peter Maritzburg. Finn missed the series defeat to Pakistan with a stress injury to his foot, but he's managed to stake a
wrong button.
claim ahead of the first test with South Africa on Boxing Day.
I'm hoping that I can back it up tomorrow and the next day in terms of overs under my belt in the game and prove that I can bowl 20 odd overs in a day and be fit for that first test match. That's certainly my aim. We don't want to be gung-ho, you know, especially with
We
the
made
nature
almost
of the injury that I had.
$100,000 by
You don't want to be
napping.
gung-ho and throw me in at the deep end straight away. So, you know, it'd be interesting to see how it pulls up, but at the moment I'm very confident.
And Ronnie O'Sullivan's return to competitive snooker has hit a glitch. He's been knocked out of the German Masters qualifiers.
Whatever you're doing on Christmas Day, spare a thought for me. I'll be sat round the 5 Live table with Mark Kermode, Simon Mayo, Danny Baker and Josh Widdicombe, trying to get a word in edgeways.
Ease into the spirit of Christmas morning with Al Murray.
I am
from
not
Sam. Then
playing
follow on,
this
it's a
game on
cinematic
Christmas
lunch
morning.
with Simon Mayo and Mark Kermode.
We'll be counting down the box office top 10 of the year and talking to an extra special guest. Director Ron Howard will tell us what he gets up to on Christmas Day and discuss his new movie, In the Heart of the Sea. After us and the Queen's speech, relax on your Christmas Day afternoon with Danny Baker from 4:30.
If you've just turned on, we're listening to Lulu's new album, Making Life Rhyme. It's a departure for us.
And what better way to round off
It's
the
not a good
evening
time to
than with
release
Josh
a movie.
Widdicombe and
That's
Fighting
for
Talk
sure.
From 8.
I think it's time to let you pull your crackers.
Christmas Day highlights on 5 Live.
BBC Radio 5 Live is also available through your digital TV.
What? Through my digital television? Impossible.
And Virgin Media
Are just some of the ways you can listen.
It's Colin Patterson here.
What about Euro
1
Truck Simulator?
o'clock. Charlie Wolf and the Bishop will be reviewing the papers after midnight. I'll be speaking to David Beckham.
God.
And I'm going to talk Spain now, because there's been a couple of interesting results in
Let's talk
Spain
about
today.
Spain.
In the football, Real Madrid won
The football?
10-2, the first time they've made double figures since 1960 in a league match, and there's also been the small matter of a general
I'm still tired in
election.
real life.
With nearly all
Nap
the votes
wasn't
counted,
useful.
traditional politics seems to be getting something of a shake-up in Spain. Two new movements have seen success, while the governing Popular Party is forecast to lose its parliamentary majority. Ashish Sharma has been following events today. Good evening to you, Ashish. So no overall majority. How significant is that?
We'll just drive right down the middle of the
Well,
road.
it's as you say, Colin, we're
Fuck
pretty
it.
much seeing the end of an era here in Spain with two-party politics giving way to, another two parties that have emerged. One centre-right party, more or less, called Citizens, Ciudadanos, and the other one, much more powerfully and much more dramatically, Podemos, which is a left-wing party that grew, if you remember, 3 or 4 years ago when we had all those sit-ins in Spain, in Madrid and Barcelona, when thousands of people took
That
to the,
broken left
to
bumper
the
makes
main
me real
plazas and
sad.
literally lived
I
it
like
for
this
almost a
controller
year.
a lot more than I like the
I was
Xbox
on
One
Tenerife
controller.
at the time, and then they actually even had them
To buy a
there
new
as
one.
well. There was all over.
Luckily,
the
they should be cheap now.
Exactly, all the major cities really had. These were the anti-austerity
Thomas,
protests
and get your shit
against the
together,
measures that
homie.
were brought in
Don't
by
fuck with
Mariano
me.
Rajoy's the Popular. Well, from that vibrance of political activity grew Podemos, which is this radical left-wing party led by a very charismatic leader called Pablo Iglesias. And today they've picked up 69 votes in Parliament. And as you say rightly, the Partido Popular has lost its majority, having pulled in about 122 votes. And in Spain, to have an absolute majority, you need 176. So right now, everyone is scratching their heads, calculating how alliances and formations could add up to that number to form a governing party. But given the differences in the politics and the thinking of all the different parties, it's going to be very difficult to see how Mariano Rajoy and the Partido Popular could actually do that.
So how easy has it been to launch two new political parties and actually get a foothold in these results?
Well, I think we have to look at the historical significance of what they mean. As you know from the drama of what took place with those sit-ins, there was a lot of impetus behind Podemos and their drive, and their messages were really hitting very, very clearly at what people were thinking. They were anti-austerity, they were anti-corruption. The last 4 years,
I would expect most political parties should be
corruption
anti-corruption.
that have hit
Just
the
saying.
Partido Popular and also the socialist PSOE. And really, Podemos offers an alternative, or offered an alternative, and suggested that what we want is more citizen participation, more people involved in the politics. People, the mainstream political parties just don't listen enough. And that was really bubbling away and getting a lot of support, a lot of sympathetic ears on one side. On the other side, we see what's been happening in Catalonia, this fight for independence, this desire to have an independent Catalan state. Well, Citizens, the group that grew, the party that's grown from there, was actually an anti-Catalan nationalist party. And so there was a lot of people in Catalonia who actually don't want to be separated. They don't want to be a separate state. They want to be a part of Spain. And they began to listen to Citizens. And they were bubbling away and growing in their own way, having a very much centre-right political view, if you like. And I think over the last 4 or 5 years,
No
with
need to hold
mixture
the drive
economic
button.
crisis, the corruption measures that we've seen, these two parties have been growing in sympathetic votes. We saw that in the European elections last year, and more importantly, earlier this year in May, we saw that in the regional elections when both parties did very well. In fact, Barcelona went to Podemos, and so that really
Learning
set it
stuff
up
about
very
politics
nicely for us
here
to
on the
know
Vibe Love
that
Drive.
when we got to the general elections,
Tell
as
your
of
friends.
today, we were going to have
We're just chilling,
situation where
learning
there
about
was
stuff.
not going to be a clear
It's good.
majority, and now it's going to be a race to see who can actually get the votes to get to that finishing line and form a government. And at the moment, it doesn't look like it's going to be a very easy course to navigate.
And briefly, why an election so close to Christmas?
Why not? Well, the elections are set as you know, the ruling party will decide when it feels it's in its best position to want to have its chance of regaining power. Now, these elections were meant to have taken place in November, but the Rajoy has been playing very much on the economic upturn in Spain and looking at the latest figures when they come out. And so really the placing of the elections at this time was done very much so that they would have a best chance, if you like, to try and gain power again. And of course, their calling card has been that although we've gone through a terrible austerity measures, we've also steered our way through that, and we have seen an upturn in the economic situation in Spain, and it has been really improving. But the problem that they've faced, and this is what's come back to hit them in the face
Perfect.
today, is the fact
10 out of
that while
10.
there has been enough,
Fill up some
it
gas.
just hasn't trickled down.
Not enough.
Exactly.
We're going to leave it there, Ashish, but thank you very much. A lot of politicians in Spain will be having to do a lot of negotiating between now and Christmas. And speaking of Christmas, in the UK, the Christmas number one single will be
$700 to fill
on
my tank.
Christmas Day,
Jesus.
and it's a battle between an NHS choir from South London and a certain Canadian pop star.
Fuck Bieber. No! 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 Whew. That was close. Whew. Sorry. Oh, almost jackknifed the truck. Oh! No, I'm okay. It's alright. I just... Whew. Whew. I hope they're not gonna play that whole fucking thing. Here, I'll turn it up just a little.
From Lewisham and Greenwich NHS Trust, made up entirely of NHS staff. You may remember they were runners-up 2 years ago in Gareth Malone's BBC Two show, Sing While You Work, and they're up against Justin Bieber. Dr. Katie Rogerson from the choir is with us. Good evening. Now,
that was close.
Now, people are still catching up on this. The charts come out on Fridays now, so this went on sale last Friday, and I get sent the chart update every day. And you are beating Justin Bieber. You're number one in the charts at the moment. Can you believe it?
No, but we're very happy that we are. Everyone's been absolutely
I can believe it.
really
Beeb, your time is over.
Hopefully it's onwards and upwards. We've got off to a good start and we're ready to go for the rest of the week.
Yeah, explain a bit about the song, because it was first released 2 years ago and it didn't actually do anything then.
No, well, you know, it was kind of a similar thing on a much smaller level 2 years ago. We were acquired and existed for about 3 years, as you say, started by Gareth Malone. And then it was such a positive thing, the hospitals decided to keep the choir going, because it was so fantastic to have that in a hospital for teamwork, for sort of morale, for everything. And we just wanted to celebrate the NHS. There was a few things also going on around that time. There was a lot of pressure to close Lewisham Hospital, and there was a Save the Lewisham Hospital campaign, and a lot of that stuff was happening around then. Obviously,
forward
now, the NHS is even more political than possibly.
That was not the button I wanted.
Usually, and morale is very low in the NHS.
That was the button I wanted, but it doesn't do what I thought.
Staff that they don't feel appreciated, and that there's a lot of people incredibly fearful about the future.
So this is a political song, then?
No, it's just people responded in very different ways to what's going on.
Come on.
But actually, myself, Harriet Nerva, Dr. Harriet Nerva, and Joe Blunden, we just thought, gosh, the NHS is fabulous, isn't it? And we really want to celebrate that, and we want to kind of lift people around Christmas, NHS staff and patients. We've got this image of, if by some complete amazing fluke, this
turning my flicker off is a little too hard.
And all those people who are in hospital, whether they're staff or patients, just feeling that everyone in the country is thinking about them.
Yeah,
and we just
I'm thinking about you people in the hospital. I'm thinking how I do not wish to be you.
It's a pure celebration of the great institution that we have.
And it has worked, this campaign. You've used social media a lot to get people to buy it. You were asking people, don't buy it until Friday. And then now they have in their thousands.
Yeah, so doctors and nurses and people who work for the NHS, we like to think that we're quite strategic. And yeah, we started the campaign about 8 weeks ago, and we've been absolutely overwhelmed in the most fantastic and positive way about how people have got behind us and supported us, and people pledged. We asked them essentially to pledge that they would buy it, but to hold off, and they kind of joined an event page that we had, and then in conjunction with some other guys, films and people like that, we started a Love Your NHS page. People to write I do,
we do not be
and it's just grown and grown, and people have been so fabulous, and there's been some really lovely individuals.
Now we're back on the no, we're not on the Osfart. We're on the
It's growing
Oswan.
and growing, and it's and that in itself. I mean, I've been sending comments to different hospitals or to different colleagues of mine. Staff and patients.
Now we drive one-handed.
They're talking to each other.
It's like
and
Bayonetta.
You know what?
play it one-handed, if you know what I mean.
Each other and we work, and that's the really positive.
I never understood that.
Katie,
Bayonetta's not. She's
best of
too
luck this
lanky.
week. I suspect we'll hear a few more of the choir on 5 Live if the battle continues to heat up.
One day
as
I'll
the
play
week
that
goes
game.
on. As I was saying
I
earlier
never
in the
actually
programme,
finished
I've had
Bayonetta
so
1.
many of these emails over the years from people making attempts at Christmas #1. They normally come to absolutely nothing, but yours is a genuine one. You're 3 days into the week and you are in the lead. So congratulations on that. Even if you don't
More
go
gas.
on to
Do we
have
need
the
more
#1,
gas?
it's going to be an exciting week for you.
Having us, we really appreciate it.
No
Bye-bye.
worries. Dr. Katie Rogerson from the NHS Choir, who are beating Justin Bieber to the Christmas #1. The X Factor, it only got to #9 this year. Now, staying with entertainment, we've had the launch, we're getting the receipts. Star Wars The Force Awakens has so far raked in $238 million.
Sounds right.
In North America. That's topping the all-time record for an opening week, beating the $208 million hauled in by Jurassic World in June. The film started showing in international markets on Wednesday, brought in another $279 million. That's a total of over $500 million, and it's been out less than a week. It's a big change to how the film opened way back in 1977, as Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker, explained to me when I ran into him on the red carpet at the London premiere on Wednesday.
Force is strong in my family.
Don't play any music.
My father has it.
Don't do it.
I have it. My sister has it. You have that power too.
Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker, welcome to Radio 5 Live. Thanks, great to be here. The 1977
Can he just break into
Star Wars
Joker?
didn't even
That was
have a
hilarious
premiere.
at the Games
This
Awards.
couldn't be much more different.
It not only did not have a premiere, it had no poster. What? They had no poster because the advertising people couldn't decide, should we promote it like 2001, heavy and serious, or should we promote it like The Little Rascals in Outer Space with a, goofy comedy? And they couldn't decide between the two, and the deadline
couldn't
came,
find a
so
job,
they
and I had to
opened the
pay
movie with
for
no
it.
poster. How was it all getting back together? That black and white shot of you all doing the reading, that caused ripples around the world.
Right. Well, I mean, it was so unexpected for us to be able to have that opportunity again. We had a beginning, a middle, and end, and I certainly didn't expect to go back to it. I thought even if they do new Star Wars movies, it'll be all new characters. So I was just, as you say, gobsmacked to hear that they wanted us back again.
Because you were thrilled when you got the call.
Of course. Well, listen. It was some of the most
Listen,
fun I've ever
it's
had.
a bazillion more dollars than playing the Joker.
On to generation to
Tell you what.
generation.
Was there a time you fell out of love with Luke ever?
Not really. I mean, you'd have to be awfully cynical because these films are really optimistic, they're hopeful, and I think people need these kinds of escapism from the dreary, often dire real world that we live in. They want that reassurance that good can triumph over evil.
I was raised to do one thing,
Be black.
but I've got nothing to fight for.
John Boyega, Finn in Star Wars. I've been watching you doing a lot of autograph signings. Some of the things you've been signing?
I've been signing posters, action figures.
He has a British voice?
Star Wars
Nice.
gear, as you go.
As expected.
Is this everything you thought it would be tonight?
This is everything and more because I'm going to get to watch a Star Wars movie with my family and friends, and so I feel very, very excited. Very excited.
Oh, shit.
I love the story of when you heard you got the role, you couldn't resist telling one stranger.
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
I told the taxi man, I was like, mate, I just got cast in Star Wars. He was like, all right, mate. Didn't believe me.
Not interested.
I wish I could find him. I really do.
And Finn, tell us about him.
Well, Finn is a stormtrooper who doesn't want to be a stormtrooper anymore. But you know what? It's coming out tomorrow. Yeah, watch the film.
Thank Jesus. Don't tell me more about Star Wars. I don't want to know.
I will finish what you started.
Adam Driver, Kylo Ren. How do you go about playing a Star Wars baddie?
Well, I think we tried not to think of him as bad. We kind of started with right or wrong as opposed to good and evil, and that's where we started. I think someone who thinks that they're right kind of has feels morally justified to do anything they want to get whatever it is they want. So that's where we started.
And the moment you first tried on your costume,
Right.
what was it like?
It's pretty surreal. I couldn't look at myself for
Got
about a
scroll-
good 10
or,
minutes. I finally had to warm up to it.
And finally, what was it like working with the original Star Wars cast?
I keep saying surreal, but that's really the best word I can use to describe it. It kind of added a level of validity in a way that we were for sure in a Star Wars movie.
Stop playing
Simon
music.
Pegg, I would say
Fuck.
your character's name. Did see the end credits last night, but I didn't pick up on it.
Unkar Plot.
Did you pretty much demand a part in this film?
No, not at all. I didn't expect to get a part because obviously I'm in JJ's Star Trek, and I thought that was probably, you know, I'd picked a side, as it were. But then when JJ got the gig, and you know, I called him to say, "Is this true?" And he said, "Yes." Are you going to be in it? And I said, "Okay." And then here we are. So
you must have put a little bit of pressure on him.
Not at all. No, I didn't. I didn't expect to. And as a friend of his, I wouldn't be so rude as to make him feel obliged to do that. I'd never do that.
So as a fanboy who has crossed over to star of the film, what is it like filming Star Wars?
It's extraordinary. It's something else. To be part of...
We're clapping George Lucas.
To be part of that universe I've loved for a very long time is extraordinary.
All teams, give it everything you got!
Oscar Isaac, tell us about your character.
Well, I played.
Let's interview
He was
everyone.
the Resistance most daring pilot. He's got a lot of valor. He's courageous. He's a little bit reckless sometimes, and wanting to prove that he is the hero that he knows he can be. But he's the kind of guy that you want next to you in the trenches.
I understand one member of your family was massively excited you got this part. Your uncle.
He was insanely excited. He almost passed out when I told him. And he came to set. I brought him to set, and JJ offered him a part in the movie.
No way.
Yeah.
What's his name?
Yeah. His name's Guillermo.
And what does he play in the film?
He's one of the villagers in the background in one of the scenes that I share with Adam Driver.
Because he is full-on fanboy, isn't he?
I mean, he's the one. That's the thing about Star Wars is that generations pass it on to the next generations. So he's the one that infused me and my brother and my cousins with that love for Star Wars.
He has the action figure collection, doesn't he?
He has the action figure collection, and he made an action figure of himself too.
Some of the cast from Star Wars.
All right,
which was
there we go. We learned what they know about the Star Wars. No spoilers here on Split Screen. I'm gonna let you go. I'll be back next week with the finish the end of this drive, this 5 Live.
So I discussed it with someone at work. We decided the only thing he responded
So, if you like sitting around watching me drive, listening to the radio, I don't know why you'd like that. But if you do, check us out next week. Or if something goes wrong, check us out on that day that things go wrong, and I'll put this up. Have a good day. I'm Civvie. Signing out.